welcome to highlights of the Thrustmaster Formula SimRacing World Championship. This week being the season finale held at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache circuit, one of the more popular venues on the calendar and a fitting location to end the season. In the drivers' standings, the first three positions are secured, but the battle for fourth between Hoyer and Kish is still very close. In the constructors, Musto have it secured, although it could be an interesting battle for second between Flag to Flag and Go Speed, with ACR having an outside chance of the silver trophy. In a truncated qualifying session, it was Simoncic who took pole position ahead of Kalash and Stefanko, and Eric Andre impressed to qualify 6th, while Patel struggled and could only manage 7th. Further down the field, Mark Hutchinson and Dylan Scrivens are making their World Championship debuts, the latter driving for the returning Brem GP team. As the red lights come on and the drivers rev their engines, getting ready to commence battle for one last time in 2017. It's lights out and go, 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 with the launchers off the line looking equal, but Michi Hoyer goes incredibly late on the brakes, which works a treat as he's up to 3rd by Curva de Sol. The drivers now making the short run down the Reta Raposta before heading into Decido del Lago, where an Eric Andre finds himself squeezed by the twister of D'Alessandro. The opening lap action continues at Maguglio, where Wieswer attempts to pass Capit, but the Vodbull driver understeers, sending both into the runoff. Not a great end to the first lap. At Curva de Sol on lap 2, the sparks flew in spectacular fashion, as a slight oversteering moment for the born-to-win driver of Pansar was enough to send both him and Van der Neep flying into the barrier, quite literally. Tickets for Panzer Airlines are now available. At the front, the order was static until lap 8, when a mistake from Hoyer allowed his teammate through. However, a lap later, Stefanko almost loses it, allowing Hoyer back through into 3rd place. Another lap later and Stefanko takes back the position with an easy pass into turn 4, a nice overtaking move. On lap 18, Simoncic makes the first call to pit, switching to the prime tyres. Whilst he retained the lead, the undercut worked a treat for Stefanko as he was able to jump the net wrecks of Callas for 2nd place. The punishing Interlagos circuit would torture a few drivers. Dylan Scrivens using too much curb at Decido del Lago, spinning across the path of Eras into the wall and into early retirement. Harris Parvez also came into trouble at the Senaresas, ending his race prematurely. Meanwhile, up at the front, the prime tyre shod Michael Ayres, who hadn't stopped yet, was holding up a train of cars, with D'Alessandro in close proximity, until the twister driver tapped him, losing his momentum and dropping himself behind Patel, before the Musto driver found a way past Ayres. Slightly behind this, Andre was attacking Gosby and the pair ran side by side through Ferragura before getting a great view of D'Alessandro hitting Ayres again. With Ayres now out of the way, Patel quickly caught up with Hoyer and attempted a pass. The pair banged wheels on a few occasions before even Eric Andre got involved at Bico de Pato, one of the major highlights of the race this particular battle. On lap 34, Simoncic threw a huge spanner into the works. Not only did he pit unusually early, but he switched to the option tyres, meaning he was now on a 3-stop strategy. I say now on, he probably was always on the 3-stop strategy. However, unsurprisingly, he quickly dispatched Patel at the Senaresas a lap after pitting. On lap 43, Stefanko pits for the prime tyres, indicating he was going to the end and now in the hot seat for victory. Or was he? As Simoncic continued his charge by breezing past Hoyer on the main straight, proving he's got speed as well as strategy in mind. On lap 50, Kallas became the last of the leaders to pit, and he stretched out his prime stint long enough to be able to change to options at the end. This meant it was game on for the win. The same could not be said for Michele D'Alessandro, as he was forced to retire with an electrical fault. On lap 58 it was crunch time as Simoncic made his final stop. Kallas had been rapidly eating into Stefanko's lead, and on lap 62 it was game on as Kallas made his first attack on Stefanko. However, drama occurred and major contact was made, sending Stefanko into the barriers and forcing him to pit for a new front wing. Kallas was now in the hot seat for victory, but he soon saw the dreaded sight of the red and black ghost speed of Yerny Simoncic looming in his mirrors. However, the Nerex driver covered him off going into the center S's, but with more momentum, Simoncic made another attack down the Retta Aposta, but once again, the Nerex driver stood his ground. A lap later, Simoncic got another run. This time, Kallas overcooked it, handing Simoncic the lead. At the back end of the points, Jos Araneda had pulled off another impressive drive from the pit lane before he capitalised on a mistake from Capit to take the final points paying position. And that was just the start of many position changes in the closing laps. Despite suffering suspension damage earlier on the final lap, Stefanko fought his way past Eric Andre for P6. Further ahead, a mistake from Patel was enough to allow the flag-to-flag of Gosby through into 4th place. At the front, Yerny Simoncic, despite making one more pit stop than his rivals, crossed the line to close the season with a stunning Brazilian victory. Sander Kallas came within a shout of taking his maiden World Championship win, but would have to settle for 2nd place. Whilst Michi Hoyer enduring a quiet race to 3rd ahead of Gosby and Patel, Andre impressed to finish in 7th despite losing 6th to Stefanko, while Becker, Wieswer and Araneda collect the final points of the season. Looking at the final driver's standings, and from day one, Patel was the man to beat, winning the title by a gap of 34 points from Yerny Simoncic, who was runner-up for the 2nd year in a row. Martin Gosby returned to FSR after a 2-year absence and finished 3rd ahead of Hoyer, Kish and Stefanko. The Twisters of D'Alessandro and Masciuli finished in 7th and 8th, with Kallas and Becker rounding out the top 10. Looking at the final team standings, which Musto dominated, securing the constructors with a whopping 146 point gap. In the hotly contested battle for 2nd, it was Ghost Speed that would take that place, beating flag to flag by only 2 points. Still, a valiant effort by the latter to finish 3rd, having entered a race late. ACR finished in 4th ahead of Twister, newcomers Vodbull and Netrex. Ghost Speed Engineering were 8th ahead of the rookies Invictus, with Born to Win rounding out the top 10. Madcape started strong but didn't complete the season, while Drillers and Brem entered late on. So that concludes the 2017 Thrustmaster Formula Sim Racing World Championship, ending with arguably the most intense and exciting race of the season. If you think you have what it takes to compete with the best, check out the links below and sign yourself up. Keep up to date with Formula Sim Racing during the off-season by following us on social media and subscribing to our YouTube channel for all the live streams and highlights videos. I've been your commentator, Dave Paling. Just want to say thank you to the broadcast team and all of the drivers involved in Formula Sim Racing, and to you, the viewers. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in 2018.